Well, hi, sweet friends. Welcome to Becky Daniel's home. Today, we're in the craft room and we're going to put together a high-end, beautiful designer floral arrangement on a budget. Now, normally, if you go into a high-end home decor shop or a florist that does silk arrangements, for an arrangement like this, you would spend a few $100s. Well, today I'm going to teach you guys the trick of the trade, and I'll show you how to make a beautiful high-end arrangement for a fraction of the cost. Well, the first thing you're going to need is a nice container. And I picked this urn up actually last year at the Goodwill, and I knew I was going to use it for something. But you can find nice containers at, any of your craft shops or your gardening shops, or you could look online. So in the center of this, I want to add my foam. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the top of it off because I don't want it sticking up that high over the edge of my container. I've got my glue gun ready to go here, and I do use the Gorilla brand glue sticks. I think they're fabulous. Gosh, they stick so good. So that's just a little tip. If you want a really good glue stick, use those. Okay, generous amount of glue on there. Now I've got a space in here. So what I want to do is I want to take my foam and I want to make sure that I have enough to fill in the sides because we're going to be doing a pretty good size arrangement here. So I'm going to snip off a little bit more here, and I'm just going to tuck that in on the sides. Cut this one down a little bit. Tuck that one in. And you want it pretty snug. Well, that one's not going to fit in, so that's going to have to work. That's going to have to work. Let's see if I can't wedge a little bit more down there. There we go. That worked good. Okay, just to hold it all in place, because I don't want it moving on me. I don't want it to shift. Once I start plugging the stems in, I don't want the foam to shift. Okay, I think that is wonderful. I'm going to put a little glue on that. Okay, let me come around this side. Okay, now this urn is going to be covered with all types of greenery, so I'm not going to put a moss on it. If it was going to be exposed at all, I would use some Spanish moss on the top of that, but that's not our case today. So what I'm going to do is I want this arrangement to be like an L. And I want some branches coming up, and then I want the hydrangeas that I purchased to just kind of cascade over the side. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to get the I have a bush of ivy here that I picked up at the craft shop, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the ivy first. And it's just going to come right down here on the side, and then I'm going to pull it down over the edge the way I want it. It's going to be great. Okay, then I have these the curly willow. They are a faux curly willow. I love this stuff so much. And what I do is when you purchase it, it's kind of a gold color. I'll show you this. I'm going to use my snips. It's kind of gold. And so all I do is I take a brown craft paint and I just take a foam brush and rub a little brown craft paint on my curly willow just to give it more of a natural look. So I'm going to push that down into my arrangement. And when you can go 2 to 2.5 times the height of your urn or whatever container you're designing in. So I'm going to go pretty tall with this one because I want this to be a statement piece in my entryway. So I'm going to use, I have 3 curly willow stems, but I'm only going to use 2, I believe. And then I've got another stem that I might plug in there. I'll show you that one. And you're just going to kind of pull them, and we're going to just kind of get them to look a little bit more natural, not so straight up and down. Do that. I love these things. I love floral arranging. Oh, for years I used to do weddings and had a little home decor shop and did so many flowers, and it was just my greatest day when I could just sit back in my shop and just create. This one is a blooming branch, so I'm going to go ahead and just snip that off. I do have lineman pliers here, so for these heavier branches, you're going to need a pretty hefty snip so that you can get through that wire. I'm going to put this one in. And this is how I'm building my height. This is how we're going to add a little interest with the natural element. All of these stems are individually wired, and that is fantastic because then I can kind of get the movement of the arrangement that I want. So we're going to leave that like this right now, and then we're going to start adding on. I have this bundle that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and it's a hydrangea bush. And I thought it was just absolutely beautiful. I cut down the stem here to expose the individual stems that were all just wrapped together. I don't want to put it in as one gigantic big bush. I want to pull it apart so that I can get the cascading effect that I'm looking for to kind of drape over my urn along with the ivy. Okay, so I've got this one. I've got this bigger one here. I love this greenery. I thought that was a good one. Snip that off. That one's kind of stuck. So we'll get these all pulled apart. Look at that beautiful one. Take the price tag off. Yeah, buy your greens at Hobby Lobby and all your flowers when they're 50% off, which is just every other week. So listen, if you decide you want to do an arrangement and you hit the craft stores and they're not on sale today, next week, you know pretty much that they're going to be on the following week. They usually are. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these off. These are beautiful. They're just kind of a nice little vine. And then these are going to cascade over the side really nicely. Just something a little different, just to add a little interest. I am actually going to go ahead and just plug this one in. Side of my pot. See how I like it? I like it. I've got two of them, so I'm going to go ahead and plug this one in over here. Bend that down. Okay. And now I'm looking at my hydrangeas here, and I've got one big one. So I'm going to start with that beauty. And this is going to go right smack dab here in the middle. And then I'm going to come around with this one, and it's going to come over here. And these are just going to kind of cascade and kind of topple out over our urn. And then this one's a double, and I love that. And I'm going to use this one on this side. Come in over here. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh, this has got like a little weak, it's like a little plastic end. I'm going to cut that off. Get these pulled down the side. Another one of those little plastic edges there. I'm going to come in over here with this bigger one. Fills in nicely. And then I'm going to snip these two apart. Fill this one in over here. And this one is going to go in over here. I'm going to snip it off. I do have another whole hydrangea bush if I need to fill in, I've got another one, so I can grab that if I need it. So there's what we have so far, and I'm really liking, with just a couple stems, it's looking pretty good to me. So I've got the little garland, or the greenery that I like. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug that one in over here. I like how that's laying. I have another one. Let's come in on this side. I've got all my stuff laid out, you guys, and it's one to stick together. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to need till you get going with it, and I'd rather have it ready than to have to root through all of my containers. I've got a lot. So there's what we have so far, and I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to turn this around so you can see I've got an empty space over here that we're going to fill in. And I think I am going to go ahead and grab, while I'm here, the other hydrangea bush. Here we go. I've got this one. I kind of thought it was going to take two, but I wasn't sure. And like I said, I got these on 50% off. So that makes me really super happy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and plug that one in here. Perfect. That looks good. Snip a few more of these off. And then I've got a few other flowers that I wanted to fill in just to give it a little bit more variety of color. So we can start poking those guys in. I'm going to go ahead and put this one here. And I really am grabbing, when I'm putting them in, I'm grabbing them in that foam pretty good because I don't want them to move around. These are pretty heavy duty stems and I want them to be really secure down in that foam. Okay, so I'm loving this a lot. I think it looks beautiful. Pull that down. Go ahead and snip a couple more of them. You get a big value. When you buy the bushes, you're going to get a really good value with your flowers instead of buying each individual stem. If I were buying the stems individually, it would cost a fortune. So if you spend, you know, what was it? They were $24 for the bush. You got two for $24. That's a lot of flowers for $24. And these are a beautiful flower. These are a really good quality. They're holding up nicely. The greenery is good. Let me go ahead and put this one in over here. I do want it to kind of come down. There we go. I love this so much. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. And I'm kind of thinking I need some of the greenery from this bush to cascade over onto this side. So I've got one more of those. Let's go ahead and plug that in. I'm hitting a leaf. That looks great. And then we've got the ivy over here and the greenery. This looks really good. I keep turning it around just so I can see how far my hydrangeas are falling down on the sides, because that's what I wanted. I want them to have a little bit of movement in the container. Okay, I love it. Alrighty. So I've got one more here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use it. I kind of had an idea in my head what I wanted, but I wasn't 100% certain how it was going to look. So, and sometimes you just don't know till you get going. All right, that's beautiful. That looks great. Yep, I've got one more. Ah, perfect. I needed him over here. Look at that. Oh, good. Perfect. I've got a leaf, and I do like the leaves, so I am going to stick a leaf in. I'm not going to waste anything here. Okay, So there's where we're at with this now. And I think it looks, you know, honestly, at this point, I could stop. I could stop with this and be like, you know what? I'm going to finesse it a little bit and be done with it. But I want to keep going because I've got all this stuff to use up. Okay, oh, I do have one more good greenery on here, so I'm going to grab that guy off. And where do I need it? Let's see, where do I need it? I need it right here. Need it right on this side. Grabbing into that foam real well. Well, here, let's take the tag, cut the tag off. Yep, okay. Here we go, we have that. That looks great. And then I've got some of these fun little whimsy ones. Let's go ahead and plug them in. We'll add a couple more stems of color, and this beauty is done. I think I am gonna stick this one up in here. I like that. I went ahead and added that there. I like that a lot. Got one more of those. Let me see where it needs to go. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and have this one come in right over here and meander down the side. There. And you just want to kind of play with them so they're just not so straight down that they looks like it has a little bit of movement. Okay, this looks beautiful. I think it looks amazing. I'm gonna play around with some of these branches real quick and get my height back up. I kind of pulled them around. It looks so good, you guys. Okay, I love it. All right, let's move this guy around. Now, I'm thinking when you come in, I've got a table by the door, and this is gonna be on that little table, and I think I want it to be, I'm looking at what side is gonna be out. It doesn't matter. It's gonna work both ways. So that's just a great thing. And I might even, this may eventually end up on my fireplace mantle. And if that's the case, then, you know, I'm golden, because then I can use it on a table. I can use it on my mantle. Now what I have, I've got this stem of, I don't even know what kind of flower this is. They're just really pretty, and there's a little sweet dusty rose color, and I was kind of obsessed with that and the apricot corals this year. So let's go ahead and just play with this a second and see how it looks coming right up the center. You gotta catch the foam. Gotta catch that foam. Oh, that looks beautiful. Okay, I love that. I love the addition of that dusty rose in there. It kind of is mimicking this hydrangea, that beautiful soft blush color of the hydrangea, and then that green. And then I have this yellow. And this yellow one has that soft little dusty pink blush center, and I thought that was beautiful. So I'm gonna use this one, and I think I'm gonna kind of, with that one, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it off to the side here. So let me cut that. I'm gonna leave the stem a little long on this one because I'm not sure how high it's gonna go. But I know I don't need all of that. There. Oh, that looks great. That's beautiful. Just a little addition, just a little something, just a little interest. I just wanted to add a little spot of interest. And I know this, it's really challenging, and I apologize with my cameras for you guys to really see how amazing this is all the way around. I apologize for that, but I will definitely take some good photos so you'll be able to see it really well. Okay, so then what I have here is I've got this bush. And it's just it's a variegated colors, and I thought that all the colors would look beautiful in this arrangement. So I'm gonna go ahead and just snip some of these off. One thing I will tell you is I'm not happy with the greenery on here. So I'm gonna kind of hide the greenery. I'm gonna hide it so that you don't really see it, because this greenery is just so beautiful. So we want that to be the star of the show. But this color is just fantastic. It's so beautiful. So what I'm going to do is right in here, I've got this one kind of just cascading down. And I want to add a little bit more life in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just add that one. I'm going to tuck it down in a little deeper. And then I'm going to come around. I've got 3 of them. So then over here on this side, I'm going to go ahead and add him over here, which is beautiful. And then the third one, this one here is kind of cascading down a little bit. And I love that. So I kind of want to let this one come over here and hang out with this buddy. Just a foam. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, just a little punch of color there. So that looks beautiful. Now I'm looking at this and I've got the elements that I want with the height. I've got some of the flowers, the hydrangeas, just kind of tumbling off the side here, which is good because that's just kind of how hydrangeas go when you put them in an arrangement. Now I've got a spot over here and that needs a little something sweet. So I've got some of these. I've got more of these. So let me go ahead and snip them. A couple more of these. And then I've got this, I don't even know what color that you would call that. It's more of a, I don't know what that is. It's like a fuchsia. It's beautiful. Go ahead and add that over here. I filled in this spot here that just needed a little friend. And then I'm looking around here and I've got a spot over here, right over here that needs a friend. Trying to catch that foam, guys. There it is. The leaves get all bogged down in there and sometimes you're just hitting the leaf. And I need to hit the foam. I need it to stay in there. Okay, this is beautiful. I am loving the addition of the different colors. I'm gonna snip one of these off and just see if it's too bold. It might look really good. Let me see. You know what? I like it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add that right up here in the center. Okay, that is gonna give it some interest. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add the other 2 around. Make it just that much more bold. Just a teeny bit of boldness here. I'm going to break up this side here with just a punch of color. I love it. Okay, good. That looks good. And then turning it around. That's the only way we know is we got to turn them all around. Right over here, we have a spot that needs a little bit of love. So we're going to go ahead and plug that one in over here. Gosh, who knew? This thing is gorgeous. It's coming together so beautifully. Well, here's some little things. I don't think I need those. I'm going to turn this guy around. I'm going to just keep turning it. I'm going to pull this one. I got the yellow one in here, and I'm going to pull it down just to give it, so it's not so straight up in the air. Okay, I love that. Just that little hint of yellow just adds so much to this. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that this one here, I just pulled it off of here, which is a little bit too heavy. It just wasn't wanting to lay nice. So let me go ahead and move this one around. I'm going to put it back over here, but I'm going to tuck it up a little bit higher. Grabbing that foam. There, that looks better. That is what I'm looking for. It was just kind of hanging a little bit too far out and too far down. And I do want this one, I do want this to look like this. And then I have this little guy doing the same thing. I do want that, but that big one was just kind of like looking like it was like ready to just take the whole darn thing over. Okay, this is gorgeous. Guys, this is gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to come back in again and fuss around with my greenery and my twigs here because I do want them more on one side. I don't want them throughout the whole arrangement. I just kind of want them to be kind of concentrated on this one side. I love it. Okay. I love this so much. It's going to look so good. Well, now you guys see how simple it is to make a high-end designer arrangement. This arrangement with the urn that I got at the Goodwill, it was $6. And I've got just about, let's see here, 25, about $70 worth of flowers and greenery in this. So that is a great bargain for this gigantic, big, beautiful, high-end looking, well, high-end. It is just high-end arrangement that I was able to put together in just minutes for you guys and show you. Look at this. It's wonderful. It is so wonderful. I love it. I will definitely attach some photographs of it all dolled up on the table so you guys can see it in its full glory. But there you go, sweet friends. That is how simple it is to make a designer high-end flower arrangement on a budget. I'm so glad you're here with me today. This is so much fun. Hey, if you're getting value out of these videos, make sure that you give me some thumbs up. I appreciate that so much. And listen, stay tuned for more videos, and we'll see you soon.